Real talk. You know, I don't know if you've been in that position and in place, and most of us probably have, whether recognizing it or not, or we just pass. You know, there are those moments in life where you pass by and really you don't even pay attention on what is going on. So, and this is what I mean, that you might be experiencing something, but you're so dipped in maybe in complaining or feeling unworthy that you don't even recognize that you're in that moment, and there is another moment that may be able to come. Yesterday I had a very interesting day. I mean, it was kind of a day that was up there. It takes you up. I had my first podcast interview. That was amazing. I mean, the conversation, the networking, and the connection during the interview was just, it was on top of the line. The host was feeling everything, and the response was just amazing. And actually at the end, she's like, I've never seen, she does both, she does live on the back, she called that behind the scenes. So she does it live on the social media. I think it's a TikTok. And she's like, man, this is by far one of them. Most people usually drops off very fast, but this is by far that I've seen where people have stayed on for until the end of the podcast at the highest number. But so you kind of walk them like, man, I've done something. It's just amazing and everything else. And the next day came, it's just things, a series of things just kind of went downhill. And you're like, you're holding this, it kind of goes the other way. You're holding that, goes the other way. And you start looking, I'm like, what just happened? What is the difference between yesterday and today? But sometimes, and in that moment, I kind of felt, I was feeling the tenseness in my body. Because I've developed this keen awareness when I'm not in alignment to my purpose, my goal, whether it's for a moment, for a day, for whatever the case might be. Usually I kind of feel the tenseness. I feel the heat in my body, and I was feeling it. Actually, the Bible, I think, to me, my understanding, that is what they call the fire of the fire in hell. You're in hell not because it's a huge bad place, because it's a place where it is not in alignment with your goal. This is me thinking and understanding the Bible from that point of view. For those who believe there is hell, somebody will be burned, let them go, and maybe they will witness and come and tell us that somebody got burned. But from my experience and most of my clients, they're living in hell here on earth each and every single day, when they're feeling the heat, the pain, the struggle of not being consistent with their intent, when their goals is not aligned with their experiences. And most of us are experiencing that. That is hell. You feel that sulfuric fire. Most people have lived for so long in hell that they don't recognize when it happens. But for me and many others that I've worked with, they tend to recognize it. And it's when you're recognizing, or recognition is the moment or an opportunity to realign. It's a moment for change. So for me, that's kind of what I was feeling. I'm like, man, my day was just going down. There was nothing really major that was happening, I can say this, but it's just certain things, certain indicators were not showing up in my plan, in my day, in my projections and everything else. And I started feeling a little bit off, and sometimes you want to kind of lose hope. So I understand when people say, my clients, when they say, you know what, I don't feel like doing anything. I was not feeling like doing anything, because I'm like, man, I've done 3-4 things and nothing is turning out. Simple things, simple things becomes difficult. An example, my son was helping me to publish the book. And so I have, most of it probably might not be familiar with it, but when you publish a book, you get, especially if it's a hardcover, you get an ISBN number. It's a unique number for that book that can be identified anywhere in the world. So I have a list of them that I've bought, because I have a few books that are in that ideas that I've had. So I'm like, those books have to be assigned this ISBN. So I bought a bunch of them, and it was discounted anyway. You get a number of them. So I grabbed one and I said, okay, here, son, this is a ISBN number. Just go ahead and publish it. Out of nowhere, it says that number has already been used. It has never been used. I've checked it to verify. It's never been used. But Kindle keeps saying the number has been used. And so we wasted hours trying to diagnose what is the issue that makes this ISBN say it's been used. I reached out to the company. I said, this number, I just assigned this number to this book. So if it's assigned to the book, it should match on whatever the database. I don't know what else behind the scene, but there it was. I mean, in that just a little thing took almost 4 hours of my day. And eventually I'm like, you know what, I can't keep delaying this particular process just because of that. So we decided to publish it with just a Kindle number that is a free number, which means you cannot use that number anywhere else. But for the sake of just keeping moving the process forward, we're like, you know, just screw it, go on. And I have this automated process I've created where out of the textbook you can create an audiobook. So we were on processing that, and everything was not working out. Everything, I mean, it was a backlog. I mean, it's like, okay, so what is going to be working out here? And the frustration, the tension, and I was feeling it. And each and everything I was touching, going there, it seems like it wasn't turning out the way it should in an easy manner. Eventually, each and every one of them worked out, but it just took more work, more time than necessary. And you're like, why now? Why at this moment? But sometimes in life, we find ourselves in that moment. Maybe you're sitting in a place where you say, why now? Why this moment? For me, yes, I felt like giving up. I was like, giving up, not giving up anything. It's just you like, I just want to go to sleep. And in fact, I went to sleep. I'm like, I got to go and take my nap. I had to go and meditate. I usually like, in order to cool off, to cool down that heat, that fire from hell, the sulfuric fire, I went and just meditated and took a nap. About an hour or so, I took my good nap. It was harder to come back, especially it's rainy and everything else. But when I got up, I felt renewed, refreshed. So it was a reset for me. You might have a different technique. You might maybe take a liquor or to smoke a cigar, but some habits you just have to say, no, this habit is not what I'll say is not productive, it's not enhancing anything, it's actually detrimental to my health or something to that effect. You choose the mechanism that can help you. For me, that taking a nap sometimes, or if it was a beautiful day, I'll go for a run. That's another way. Sometimes I kind of cool off. I go for a run and I meditate. I kind of really meditate on something positive, and I'll run just thinking of something positive, or listening to sometimes my own messages. Sometimes I listen to other people's messages that are of encouragement, so that I can kind of get out of my own stuckness. And this is true for each and every aspect of life. But the number one thing, like for me, if I couldn't have recognized that I was not in alignment with my goal or my intent of the day, or if recognition is number one thing. And in my 3I framework, I usually talk about this idealization. Idealization begins by recognizing. You become aware that something is not right. It is in the awareness where actually change begins. If we're not aware, we can't change. How can you change something you don't know if it's wrong or broken? So that's where you start, and that's when we're like this. When I kind of walk you through what I did there quickly. That's what I started. I recognize, and I said, this is not what I want, and things were not going right. And I said, this is not what I want to experience. So I had to idealize it. I said, I'm gonna think of the positive. I changed the direction of my attention. And by changing the direction of my attention, I changed how I view the day. I took my nap. But I took my nap, not just take a nap. I took a nap knowing that everything is all right. I kind of get this idea in my mind, things are all right, things are better. And by doing so, I went to sleep took a nap feeling pretty good. And eventually, as I went about, I woke up, I started listening to another inspiring message from somebody else. And as I was listening it, I kept encouraged and I felt good. And now I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling myself. But it was quite of a bumpy road throughout the day. And I just want to share this with you. If maybe you're going through something yourself, things are just not in alignment where you want, or you're feeling off to some extent, don't allow that moment to drag you out of your intent or feeling that it's impossible, it cannot be done. You just have to kind of have a technique. Usually the problem we suffer is because we don't have a technique. It's just a technique that kind of take you in the direction you want. A technique you can apply. Like for me, I would encourage you to try the 3I framework. Idealize, introduce, iterate. And then from there, just stay positive, and you're going to find yourself in place where you want to be. Things might not have changed immediately, but you're going to find the relief inside, because the change begins within. I hope that makes sense and it's helped you in some form. Until then, I'll be back.